Words over the ether towards Anna Erhard and a band. Hello.
Hey, Mark.
Hello. So I was explaining to you earlier on, I was sat in the room where I've got my record player with loads of vinyl around me, loads and loads of vinyl. And I do get a lot, and I'm really grateful for it. But I don't know what it was. Something drew me to your album. I put it on, and I was immediately engaged with it. It didn't sound like anything else I was listening to at the time, really, which is a compliment. And then I had to go and do some research about it because I knew nothing. So you're from Switzerland originally?
Exactly. I'm from Switzerland and I live in Berlin now.
Okay, so what did you get up to in Switzerland? Did you have any bands over there? And if so, what kind of music were you playing?
I started kind of late. I started having my first band when I was maybe like 22. And I met these girls that were playing cello, and we were starting a band called Seraphine and doing a lot of busking all around Europe. And then we were playing in this band for about 6 years, and the band fell apart, so I got a bit like bored of Switzerland, and I felt it was time to move on.
Right, okay. And Berlin, it has to be said, is the go-to place now. We've experienced this before. And I mean, it's funny, I'm sure people did it before, but the first band that I know that decamped to Berlin was the birthday party. Nick Cave came over from Melbourne in the early 80s, and then when the Bad Seeds formed, they just all went over and lived in Berlin, and we're like, oh wow, that's pretty bohemian. But these days it seems to be quite a common occurrence. And so have you joined a community of musicians in Berlin, or are you still outsiders?
I definitely have. I mean, I'm not living the Nick Cave kind of lifestyle there, I would say, but I met there's a lot of international musicians, actually, I would say. Like now we are all German, Swiss people here in the room, but there's a lot of like Danish people or Americans, everything, and I really enjoy that. I didn't have that in Switzerland. Yeah,
I mean, I often draw the comparison to Portland, Oregon in America, where, again, bands from all corners go and gravitate towards that because of the community and the environment. It's good to work in.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay, excellent stuff. And so your album, I listened to it, as I say, and it really didn't strike me as being able to be compare it to anything else, really. The songs, the structures of them and everything are off-kilter is a phrase that I would use if you get that. And so how do you go about writing these songs?
Well, this album I kind of wrote in the studio directly. I have like the huge privilege to be able to go to the studio anytime, and then I recorded with Paul Leroy, he's the producer, and we were just jamming together. It was during pandemic, so we had a lot of time, and we would just jam for an hour and then cut the best pieces. We would just cut out the best pieces and glue them together and then play on top of it, maybe record some drums, some guitar on top.
I mean, it wasn't like you just sitting down with the guitar and then just coming up with a song and then working it out from there.
No, it usually started with this kind of, you sometimes hear like a little synth or something in the background, and it always started with like maybe a drum machine and a synth, and sometimes we went to a completely different direction, like it would be more like a techno song at the beginning, and then we just take a little part of it and then add the other instruments on top.
Yeah, because, listening to it, the songs sound outwardly simple, and I don't mean that as an insult, but kind of straightforward. But then you notice all the layers, all the nuances in it, and all the little echoes going on in the background. It's a beautiful record. I mean, you've made an amazing job. The way it sounds and the songs together are just incredible. So, have you been over and toured the UK very much previously?
Never. We arrived yesterday by train. I mean, I've been to the UK, but no touring, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then. Well, we need to say, so you are playing tomorrow. That would be right, wouldn't it? Yes, you're playing St Pancras Old Church in London.
Yes.
And then you're also doing 2 shows at the Great Escape on the 11th and 12th. So you've got Jubilee Square and Comedia Studios. You are, thankfully, going to come back in September, aren't you?
Exactly. We come back to Manchester as well.
Yeah, well, I shall be there unless you've got a restraining order on me. So that will be the 21st of September. You play London, The Grace, which is a new venue to me. The 22nd, Bristol, Louisiana. That isn't. The 23rd, Manchester at the Lounge, which I think I'm right in saying is part of the Deaf Institute, the downstairs part of the Deaf Institute. Wonderful place. And then on the 24th, Glasgow, Hug and Pint. But after the session tonight, I would fully expect you to have a lot more dates lined up as well on the back of those. Because
that would be great.
Yeah, well... I'm sure there will be promoters out there listening, and I'm sure they will be impressed. So you're going to do 3 songs for us now then, Anna. 3 songs back to back. What are they, in which order?
So we're playing 3 Tones of Steel.
Great.
And then we play Horoscope, and the last song is Campsite, the title track.
Fabulous.
Of the album.
Okay, Anna Erhard, live in session. Thank you.
Thank you, Marc.